Alright, looks like we are live just about. Let's see here. Get everything set up. Alright, we're up and running. And I can get this sitting there. Alrighty. Take a couple moments for people to join. Let's see here. Everything looks good. Got the number up on the screen. You know how this goes. And about 30 seconds in, get some people in here, get some conversations going, and then we can get started. Let's see here. It's Friday at 6:30 almost. Some people should be on and joining within the next couple of minutes. Alrighty. Let's see here. Give it just a little bit for people to come in. Usually takes about 3 minutes, like I typically say. Give it a little bit more time. And then, what's up, Wiggles? How's it going? You're the first person in here. Make sure to be the first like. Get some more people in here after that. So once we get some more people in here, more people typing in chat, it should push the stream out to more people. Today I do have a call-in number for more kind of debate style. Make it a little bit more fun. Compared to yesterday, of course. Let's see here. Friday at 6 o'clock, so let's see if people are online. And once we get some more people in here, we can get conversations going. Type yes if you can hear me. Kind of changed a couple settings. So, alright, got about 10 people in here. Make sure to type your point of view in chat, and also see if we can get to 5 likes within the next couple of minutes. It helps the stream a lot, pushes it out to more people, makes it more fun for everybody. And like I said, make sure to type yes if you can hear me, because I did switch a setting yesterday. Got about 20 people in here. If you want to join the debate, the number is on the screen. I do recommend, if you don't want to call, you can always just type in chat. I'm always reading. And got about 20 people, about 30 now. You got to type in the chat, make it more fun for everybody. We are at 1 like so far, so if you want to be the first 5, then feel free to do that. Just the little like button on the top of the screen, it helps push it out to more people. And if you subscribe, your name does pop up on the screen. And definitely type in chat, make your point of view heard so that I can respond and give you mine. What's up, Personal? How's it going? Hope you're having a good day. We're 3 likes away from 5. Double tap gives a heart, and I think the little thumbs up button at the top drops a like. Like I said, it does help out a lot. And we do have a donation goal. We got 5 for this stream. Of course, you don't have to donate. You can always just watch for free. Some man says, Jesus loves you. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good day. Appreciate you joining in. Today is a little different. I do have a number up on the screen that you can call and talk personally. What's up, Patrick? He said subscribe. Appreciate it. Brian says, I love Trump. Make sure to go in depth on your point of view so that I can, give a little bit longer of an answer. Trump should not have gone into Iran, says Eric. I agree partially. I think taking out their nuclear capabilities was good, but I don't think that we should have taken part in their regime change. Because, personally, I don't want any Americans losing their lives in another country. Diane says, do you know the prototype? I do not. Definitely gotta tell me what that is. Lames says Trump is just hiding Epstein. Daniela says Trump is bad. I don't like him. Please tell me why. Appreciate it. Lucille says I saw you yesterday. Think I might have seen you yesterday as well. Appreciate it. 5 likes away from 10. The little thumbs up at the top. If you don't think he's doing a good job, click the thumbs up. If you think he is doing a good job, click the subscribe button. If you subscribe, your name does pop up under the live subscriber count, as you can see. Lame says Trump is just a puppet for Israel. That's unfortunate. Don't necessarily disagree. And if you can hear me, make sure to type yes, because I did switch a setting yesterday. Testing things out. Keep liking. We're 4 away from 10. Lou Becker says, I like Trump. Appreciate the comment. Make sure to go in depth so that I can respond on your reasoning. 5 likes away from 10. Click the thumbs up if you think he's doing bad. How do you get 100,000 subscribers? I don't know. I only have 11,000. Guess just keep posting. Flash Edit says Trump is a bad person. Please go in depth. Alright. Got some people saying yes, so that's good. You can hear me. It's always a plus. So, Flash Edits, if you think he's doing bad, click the thumbs up, because it does say no equals like, yes equals subscribe. And if you think he's doing good, subscribe so we can see difference in numbers. ABV says, but the Iran war, yeah, that's unfortunate. Started that in March. I wouldn't really consider it a war until we have boots on the ground, but hopefully that does not happen. And I do have a donation goal. If anybody wants to donate, you get a big shout out. Could help your channel out a little. Definitely helps me. 4 likes away from 10. Click that like button. Also helps push it to more people. Wiggle says, I meant to say I hope you get 100,000 subscribers. I do too. Danielle says, lol, you skipped over my comment. Let's see if I can find it. You said Trump is bad, I don't like him. And I asked for a reasoning. You might have typed in all caps, I don't know. Because sometimes it gets hidden if that's the case. Rocker G-Dog says MAGA. Let's go. 2 likes away from 10. If you want to be the 10th like, click the little thumbs up. Does help me out a lot, and it costs nothing. Lou Becker says, I like Trump. Daniela says, I have it. Not sure what that means. Once again, 2 likes away from 10. I think double tapping seems like a reaction or something, but next to the view count at the top, if you click the little thumbs up or something like that, or maybe the 3 bars could give you the option to like. We're 1 away from 10, by the way. Next like is the 10th. Nico Star says, Trump is one of the worst people in this world right now because he's a narcissist. Can you give me some examples of that? Appreciate the comment, though. I tend to disagree with that comment, though, but that's okay. First Amendment is great. Scruffy says, what good things has he done? I'm not really into politics, I'm just wondering. Personally, one of my favorite things that he's done is close the border. That was kind of, the main thing that he ran on. He got that done in, I think, like a week or so. And in 2020, under Biden's presidency, we were getting about 19 or 20 million people in over the 4 years, and during Trump's presidency, we've gotten probably like 15 or 20. And that's not thousands. And he's ended a couple of wars, although he did promise the Russia-Ukraine war to be ended on day 1, so that's a broken promise. But he's actively trying to get that ended. I think it's taken a lot longer than he hoped. Surely a lot longer than I hoped. Once again, 1 like away from 10. Clicking the little 3 dots at the top and then the thumbs up button does help out a lot, pushes it to more people. Leslie says, voted for Trump but believe in Jesus. Incredible. Well, I mean, the other candidate didn't believe in Jesus, so. Wrecking Fool says, Trump baby. Let's go. Panther Boss says, voted for Trump but disappointed of the results. Seems to be a common sentiment. John says, what are you asking if he's doing a good job about? Just anything. Maybe campaign promises, stuff like that. John Cantrell says, 15 or 20, lol, where do you get those numbers? Also, what wars did he end? Let's do some searching. see here. Ended 8 conflicts. One of them being Armenia and Azerbaijan. Israel and Hamas, that's just a ceasefire. Wouldn't consider that the end of a war. Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. India, Pakistan, Cambodia, Thailand, Serbia, Kosovo, Egypt, and Ethiopia. Just to name a few. And I got the border crossing numbers from whitehouse.gov. In July of 2025, there was a total of 3 crossings. It's a lot better than 30,000 a month under the previous president, in my humble opinion. We're 3 likes away from 15. If you think he's doing bad, click the like button. If you think he's doing good, click the subscribe button. 2 subscribers away from 11,180. That Smiling Spaghetti says, what happened to America First, dude? Why are we siding with Israel and spending billions on the war? You know, I fully agree. We shouldn't be fighting other countries' wars, that's for sure. Yeah, everybody in the chat's open to their own opinion as long as it isn't, you know, something that goes against the First Amendment, as long as it's nothing, you know, you all know what I mean. Make sure everybody's respecting others' beliefs in the chat is what I'm trying to say. The new gent says Trump has a long way to go to be as bad as the Democrats. True. Scott says I would vote for him again, absolutely, compared to who he was running against, for sure. How did he stop those wars, negotiations, and threatening tariffs? Nico, can you give me some examples? Fresh says, our government is controlled by Israel, doesn't matter who you vote for. That Smiling Spaghetti says, hold on, dude. B. N. Dito says, Democrat and Republicans trying not to hate each other while they're both being backed by AIPAC. Meanwhile, the elites keep us all divided. I wish I could unsee everything. You're not wrong. Smiling Spaghetti says, you might be a cool guy. Appreciate it. Happy you're here. Hope you're having a great Friday. Nico says, Trump doesn't respect the military. Well, then how can you explain him donating all of his, you know, presidential salary to the VA? No other president's done that. He's also not checking his watch at funerals of military members. Smiling Spaghetti says, I think I can respect you because you're just looking things up and you're not lying to defend either candidate. Yeah, definitely will not be doing any of that. I'm not even really on a side. I just kind of side with common sense. Diane says, you're a loyalist. MAGA, Trump is Putin's puppet. Is that why Putin invaded Ukraine under Biden? Or no? But definitely not a loyalist. Wouldn't consider myself MAGA. I don't really subscribe to any party. Joe says, way better than the alternative. I do agree. We're 4 likes away from 20, by the way. If you think he's doing bad, click the 3 dots and then the thumbs up. If you think he's doing good, click the subscribe button. Your name does pop up under the live subscriber count at the top. I also do have a donation goal if you want a massive shout out. Could help your channel out a lot. Had a stream the other week, get about 40,000 viewers. So that's decent publicity if you're interested in that. And it does help me out a lot. You don't even have to donate a lot. It can be as little as $1. Yeah, says Doge worked. That was crazy. They did find some crazy crazy stuff in Doge. I'm just still waiting for the Doge money, but possibly a broken promise there. Shifty says, at least Biden showed up. Trump went to the one like 3 weeks ago. And you could search it up. He did go. How do you feel about his golf play, though? I feel like he plays a bit too much golf, to be completely honest, for President of the United States. Nico says, still won't do anything about guns. I mean, Second Amendment, our country was, you know, almost based off of that and the First Amendment, so won't be getting rid of those anytime soon. And it doesn't work either. Criminals are going to commit crimes no matter what. That Smiling Spaghetti says, I like this guy, got a sub to this guy. Appreciate it, bro. Absolute legend. You're #1 chatter today. Someone says donating his salary but cutting most benefits that help veterans. I don't know, man. I think I'd rather him keep his salary and not cut the stuff that helps veterans. Well, I mean, Big Pharma he's been trying to cut stuff with pharma because they have prescribed veterans all these different, you know, all these different drugs that can help or like get them hooked and whatnot. I was talking to a veteran named David Buzzard. He was running for, I think, District 12, North Carolina, something like that. That was one of his biggest, I guess, campaign points, but not too versed on it, so I'll take your word for it, if you can't tell. Doc Van says, you suck and so does Trump. That's the First Amendment for you. Don't have to be so mad. Tends to be a lot of people on the left that get mad when other people are talking that they don't necessarily agree with. Joseph says, America first. Harvey Cloud says, he's the best president we've had in a while. Probably the best in my lifetime. Ron says, never said anyone's getting Doge money. He said, in fact, we may be able to. It'd be nice, but oh well. Harvey says, Trump 2028. Smiling Spaghetti says, I don't like Trump Tower hole too much, but why are some people running into the thing and blowing it up and stuff? It's not okay to do that. Some people are crazy, and with the they did the same thing with like Tesla dealerships and whatnot, just because they disagree with the people that run them. It's insane. Yeah, it says corporate America is socialism, business with subsidy that we pay for, unfortunately. 4 likes away from 25. If you don't think he's doing a good job and don't want to type in the chat, you can make your voice heard by clicking the like button. And we're 1 sub away from 11,180. Shifty says, anyone who loves America should despise Trump. Is that why the person that he was running against wanted an open border? I think if anybody wants an open border, then frankly, they don't really care too much about America. It's just my opinion though. Nico Star says, yes, Trump is horrible. People get shot often in this country, and does he care? You mean like the millions of people that laughed and posted when the Charlie Kirk incident happened, or even the July 2024 Trump incident? Trump isn't doing much about people committing crimes. I mean, he's deporting criminals, but you do you. Justice says Trump 2028. Digital Bath says, I don't get mad, but I believe anyone who currently supports Trump today is either a scumbag or insanely intelligent. Alright. Kermit says, he's thrown this country into the trash. Can you please give me some examples? Lizzie says, guys, can Trump not even run again? No, he can't. And he guarantee you he won't. Smiling Spaghetti says, and I don't know about Charlie Kirk. He was just a guy who talked, but why are people celebrating a dude getting shot? Like, seriously. It was insane. Zenhard says, go Brandon. You mean the guy that pardoned his entire family 5 minutes before his presidency ended? Lou Becker says, Trump for king. That's crazy. Haven't had a king since 1776. Justice says Emperor Trump. Lou Becker says Lord Trump. That's crazy. Smiling Spaghetti says, and this is about the president, but why did Elon do that little salute a while back? I have no clue. It didn't look too good, but I personally don't think that was his intention. He's had a track record of being a little bit awkward in public settings. Zenhard, that's very true. Shifty says, Kamala advocated to secure the border. Kamala and Biden deported more people than Trump has by far. Well, I mean, let's talk about the differences in illegal immigrants coming into the country between the two presidencies. And she ran before she even decided to run for vice president. She ran on an open border, and then the second that it became unpopular, she switched her views. Deporting criminals at a lower rate than Biden did, then why is a lot of people on the left screaming that he's deporting a lot of people? Ron Goat says Democrats are in pure panic mode. They know it's coming this summer. It's going to be an incredible economy. All they have is bad. Orange Man. I hope the economy gets better. Since March, it hasn't been fantastic. Yeah, says Charlie Kirk is a national treasure. Chevy Silverado says, are you in North Carolina? I am. Ron Goat says, Charlie Kirk was responsible for turning out massive youth votes. Very true. I worked with Turning Point a little bit, still do, but they had a lot of effect. Someone says, dump Trump, dissolve ICE. In that case, let's also dissolve the police department if you want to use that logic. It's like in 2020 when one police officer did something horrible and they decided to categorize police all around the country as terrible people. And then bad things started to happen, but the second something bad happens to them, you know they're going to be calling the police. Same thing with ICE. A couple ICE agents act out, and apparently the hundreds of thousands of successful deportations don't matter. Just the one bad one that does. If Trump did what he said, he'd be doing a good job. He's doing a lot of what he said. Not all of it, though, that's for sure. Kona says, Donald Trump is the best president that this country has ever had. Can you please give some reasoning? That's a crazy comment. We just want due process, not that deporting people is wrong. I get due process, but how are we going to have due process for 20 million people? That'll take lifetimes. Weird says, I voted for all of this. Do you know the difference between an undocumented immigrant and an asylum seeker? I mean, overstaying your visa is just as much of a crime as crossing the border illegally. Someone says, does Mike Wazowski wink or blink? I need to know this, please. That's a solid question. Probably the best one I've gotten today. Weird says, the Great Reset. About time. Shifty, I mean, it's on video. You could search it up. Plenty of interviews. Democrats don't hate ICE as a whole. We just want them to follow standard law and due process. I get that. There definitely needs to be training, a lot more training for ICE officers. They seem to kind of just act off the cuff, but it's unfortunate. Diane says, insanely unintelligible are MAGA supporters. That's not a full sentence, number one. Number two, I don't think MAGA is the one that doesn't believe in biology, or common sense, or science. Seem like it's a lot of people on the left that care more about appealing to people's feelings than telling them the truth. What's up, Dwight? Do you think they will arrest Epstein or keep pretending Pete isn't him? That's crazy. I was about to say, I feel like he's gone already, but... Someone says, well, what do you think? I mean, you were just proving logic, man. I mean, in terms of the question on the screen, I think that some of what he's done is good, some of what he's done is bad. I'll never fully pick a side because politics isn't sports. But if he does something good, I'll applaud him for that. If he does something bad, I'll speak out against it. I'm not I tend to be in the middle, maybe lean a little bit more right today, but who knows what tomorrow holds. We're 5 likes away from 30. If you think he's doing bad, make your voice heard by clicking that like button. If you think he's doing good, click the subscribe button. And I do have a donation goal if you do want to donate. It does help out a little bit. Epstein is alive and well in Rome, and Maxwell is hiding out in Canada. I feel like she's in jail, but I feel like Epstein's gone as well. Alright, we got a caller coming in here. Let's see if this works. First time. Let me call him back, see if it works. Hello? Seems like they ended the call. Oh well. Howard says he's doing tend to agree. How can you debate a kid regarding politics? I'm 21 years old, so I wouldn't consider myself a kid, but appreciate the comment, Doug. 4 likes away from 30, by the way. Let's see here. Let me answer some missed calls.
Hello? Hello?
That one ended as well. I don't know. It's the first time doing this, so just testing it out, but... Howard says, I voted for Trump because Kamala doesn't believe in Christ. Remember when she said you're at the wrong rally to the religious person? That was crazy. Hello?
Hello?
Not hearing
Yo, what's up?
anything.
What's up? You just said hello to me, so obviously you
That is
can hear
weird.
me.
That is weird. Next time it'll definitely work, but keep trying though. Brick says Trump. Alright, 1 like away from 30, by the way. Travis says, I just called and was the one who didn't answer. I love Trump, by the way. Appreciate the comment. And I hope to get this working pretty soon. But oh well. Lou Becker says, I've seen a lot of these callers. It's going to take you a long time to get a legit caller. Agreed. Some people that call are kind of just trolls. It's unfortunate. The guy answered, fix your hearing. Is something wrong with... Let me see. Let's see here. So could you guys hear the person talking and I can't or something? Let's see. Let me try this out. Switch something up. If you called or something. Alright, here we go. See if this works. Hello? Hello? Well, I can't really tell from the people commenting if they're old enough to vote, but just anybody that wants to talk respectfully, absolutely. If they want to send a call over, I'll be happy to answer. Not necessarily. I mean, I feel like the guy's done so much in a year that picking a topic would be relatively difficult, but you can pick one if you'd like. I believe so, yes. I absolutely do not think that Alex Preddy should have been shot. He didn't seem like a viable threat. That's why on stream I've publicly advocated for more ICE training. And, I mean, the situation was insane and shouldn't have ever happened. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, in terms of the deportations during the previous presidency, there was about 19 or 20 million people that flooded the border unchecked, unvetted, and I get your sentiment because it's personal to you, but um, yeah, 20 million people is incredibly unsustainable, especially with a country of only about 350 million or so. 20 million is a decent chunk of that, and I understand a lot of the deportations have been absolutely, you know, relatively violent, some incredibly forceful, but you take into account 20 million people, that's like around 20 million deportations, you're bound to have a lot of them end in terrible ways. Not saying that that's good, but it's kind of the price, and it's unfortunate. Hmm. Agreed. Yeah, I agree. I think the naturalization process in this country takes way too long. And I mean, that's probably 50% of the reason why people do flood the borders. We absolutely need to fix that process so that we can get more people in here legally. But yeah, I mean, I ultimately fully agree with your sentiment there. Oh yeah, I tend to be in the middle, but I lean a little right sometimes, but other times maybe a little left. I mean, if you consider a closed border right wing, I believe that borders are very important. Um, mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. I agree. Mm-hmm. Um, I mean, the big one to me was the border. In terms of like social politics, everybody's different, you know. So I kind of respect where people are if it isn't impeding, you know. But you know, I'd say for me mostly just the border because it was a massive problem over the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. His. No, you're good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get the sentiment. I think that the fact that we have a president in the files is insane. I have not read the files. I'm pretty happy that I haven't, but the fact that he's in the files so much is insane. And I mean, I agree with what you've said about the Epstein files for sure. I try and find common ground in every sentence. Mhm. Mhm. It definitely can seem that way, and I think society as a whole is so desensitized nowadays that something as insane as the Epstein files doesn't phase people as much as it should. I mean, think about 50 years ago. If these files were released 50 years ago, I mean, the country, a lot of it would shut down because of mass protests and whatnot. But people are definitely not mad enough about the Epstein files. I fully agree. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. I get that. I think that there definitely needs to be more background checks. It should not be as easy as it is to get access to a firearm. There should definitely be more mental health screening because a lot of the mass shooters that we have today are either kind of motivated online or there's something mental going on. But it's either definitely it's always one of the two, and there needs to be some decent control over you know how to get guns. But right now, I might disagree with what you're about to say. I don't know if you want guns banned as a whole, but I do believe in the Second Amendment. But I do believe that there needs to be stronger background checks for sure. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Agreed. Yeah, in a lot of places, it's handed out like candy at some stores. I mean, you need to be 21 to drink alcohol and buy cigarettes, but you can get a firearm at the ripe age of 18. Definitely kind of leans into the background checks that I said. I mean, you got to be able to provide proof that you're a little bit older than 18, in my personal opinion. But definitely stuff needs to change for sure. Mhm. 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 Hmm. I get it. You seem like a solid person. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have exceptions, such as one of them being Life of the Mother for sure. Let's see. In terms of, let's see, you said something about LGBTQ community, and I fully understand. There's always going to be radicals in every community, and unfortunately, those are the ones that get the publicity, not the level-headed people. Which there's many in the LGBTQ community, obviously, and it's unfortunate that the media chooses to highlight the radicals instead of the normals, and that's in every community, unfortunately. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it'd make things definitely a lot easier, but unfortunately, I mean, and this goes with just about everything. Some cultures are almost incompatible because sometimes they have views that are the exact opposite as what is deemed right in America. But assimilation is definitely important, especially in the immigration topic. And I mean, I tend to agree with what you said. It would be nice if everybody could get along. So do I. You're good. Yeah. Yeah. All the unemployed people, yeah. No, literally, it's insane. Hmm. It's literally a part of America. Like Puerto Rico is literally a part of America. That's insane. That's wild. It's contradictory for sure. That's awesome. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. You want to know something crazy? You're the first person to call in. This is the first time I've done something like this, and I was up for probably 3 hours yesterday trying to get my settings right to make sure that people are able to hear the caller while simultaneously being able to hear me through this microphone that I have here. And I don't even know if they could hear you. And if that's the case, I'll be doing a lot of these more often. Please call again when people can hear you and we can talk a lot more. This is honestly today this stream is a little bit of a test, but I was so happy that you were able to call in, regardless of if they were able to hear it or not. Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. Absolutely. For sure, and feel free to type that in the chat to get some more people seeing it. Would definitely help. Hmm. I appreciate it. Absolutely, you too. Thank you so much. Bye. First caller ever. Longest call. Also, I know you were not able to hear it. I figured that out within the first couple of minutes. I'm very sorry. We basically talked about a lot from gun control to LGBTQ to immigration and ICE deportations and whatnot. We tended to agree on just about everything. Of course, I try and find common ground in every debate. Guarantee you were not able to hear her, which is very unfortunate. I kind of started this stream as a test to see if you were able to. I spent like 3 hours yesterday after my stream yesterday trying to get my settings perfect, and clearly I didn't do a good enough of a job. But tomorrow should be better where you can hear. Maybe I'll have the audio coming out of the monitor instead of through these headphones here. But I guess I'll just read chat and respond to those of you talking. And I would like to thank the person that just called. Absolutely incredible, very very civil debate, which is what America should be, instead of people yelling at each other just because they disagree about a topic. And to the person who called, when I have this fixed, call again because I'd be happy to air those views on the channel. I had a stream about 2 weeks ago, ended up getting 40,000 views, and I know you did say that you intend or might run for office in the future, and that'd be a nice way to shout yourself out. And let's see, let me start reading chats here. GB says, this is a trick from Tel Aviv, ain't it? Definitely not. Definitely not bought and paid for by anybody. As a matter of fact, I have made no money this stream. Let's see here. Crime says, no, we can't hear them. Sorry about that. I did not do good enough on the settings. Let's see here. Is that your personal number? No, it is not. This number changes every 2 weeks. Sorry for ignoring chat, Alejandro. I was kind of focused on the call. Alejandro says, Jesus loves you. Appreciate it. I'm getting another call here. I'm very sorry, but since chat won't be able to hear it, I might have to decline it because it doesn't do great for views when I'm just talking to myself and they can't see the point of view. So to the person calling, say that it's you in the chat and I'll answer your question through there. And if I stream tomorrow, hopefully it'll be fixed and you can hear yourself on the live. But I appreciate the call regardless. Let's see. Okay, so the person who just debated with me is typing. If you want, check her channel out, and hope to hear again from her tomorrow. She did say she subscribed, so I appreciate it a lot. By the way, we're 4 subs away from 11,190. Let's see if we can get to 11,200 today. I think my peak I was at 12,300 last year. Then I took, unfortunately, a year break. But Jesse says, I regret voting for Trump, but I'm not voting for the other side. That's fair. Let's see here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I put a lot of thought into these words. I mean, I could tell sounded like a very smart, level-headed person, which compared to a lot of the calls that I got 3 weeks ago when I was testing this out, most people were kind of just yelling at me and not letting me get a word in, which is fair. Let's see here. He says, I appreciate it so much. Absolutely. Thank you also for being civil. Of course. Appreciate it so much. That was great. It sounded like you had them all written down on paper. Made it a lot easier for me. You were more prepared than I was, that's for sure. Brand the Armenian says, I think so. I guess that's in regards to the topic of today. Finn says, hi. How's it going? Crime says, I can agree with that. As someone who is more central, I thought both Kamala and Trump would have been bad choices. Definitely could have gotten some better people in there, that's for sure. Less polarizing, that's a big fact. We need a president that isn't necessarily Republican or Democrat, somebody that can see the good on both sides, because there is a lot. And unfortunately, political polarity is rampant in this country, and everybody's so divided, and it shouldn't be that way. Phoenix says, I think he's doing an okay job. There could be better decisions made. Absolutely agree. Personally, the border was a big topic for me. I was happy that he closed it, but like I said to the caller, there definitely needs to be some immigration reform to make it easier. It should not take a decade for people to wait their turn just to come to the United States. It should not take that long. But at the same, two things can be true at once. Shouldn't also be legal to cross a border unvetted, unchecked, no matter how harsh it sounds. Anyone with support for Israel isn't getting elected. It'd be great if we had politicians who supported the United States and the United States only, and not fight wars for foreign countries such as the one you just mentioned. Let's see here. Bowen says Trump is doing a pretty good job. Alright. Some days yes, some days no. Mars attacks. I didn't even write these things down. It meant so much that you were actually appreciating my words and didn't just invalidate me because of my age. Absolutely. I'm 21, so I don't know if you said you were a freshman in high school or college, but nonetheless, very smart person, especially for being younger than I am. That was a lot of fun. I wish that people were able to hear it because they would have been very impressed for sure. Let's see here. See how many viewers we've gotten. About 2,000. It's not terrible for about an hour in. On my stream 2 weeks ago, right now I've got like 20 concurrent, which isn't great, but I think my peak was 1,000 concurrent with over 100,000 viewers in total for one stream. We're 5 likes away from 50. It does help out a lot. It tells YouTube that people like it, and they push it out to more people, get some conversations going. Mars Attacks, I'm in high school. Since I was a freshman in high school when COVID started, or a little bit before COVID started, and I probably was not that smart, not that I definitely didn't speak as well as you did, especially with someone that you've never met. So huge props. Yeah, Bone, I get the comment. Andrew, do you see my comment a bit back about Andy? Let me read it. I'd like to see Andy Bashir in the Democrat spot. He won a red state, Kentucky, for 2 elections in a row, and he's really good at looking at both sides of things. He'd do amazing. That'd be great. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat, as long as they don't shut one side out just because of party labels. It's definitely what we need. I like the John Fetterman guy. He's a Democrat. He's got strong Democratic views, but he doesn't shut out the Republicans just because they're in a different party. And it'd be nice to see if, number one, it'd be nice if he invested in a suit, but it'd also be nice if he ran for something a little bit bigger than his current job. Seems like a solid guy, nonetheless. Appreciate that heart, Mars Attacks. Do you think Biden was a good president? I think Biden he didn't command respect, which is important. But in my mind, there's no debate that Joe Biden is a better person morally than Donald Trump. But in my opinion, I don't think that he commands a room as much as Trump does. And unfortunately, that's very important with the president. if he commanded a room a little bit more, maybe Russia wouldn't have invaded Ukraine. But you can't just throw that on Joe Biden, because look, the guy tried his best. He's been in politics his entire life. He did very good in politics, and unfortunately, he decided to become president during such a polarizing time in American history. But I think history will remember him kindly. Biden was weird. I think he was just old, but some of the stuff he did was definitely a little odd. Didn't read someone's full comment, so I agree with them. Kamala laughs too much to be president. Sizzle Moon Song says the Artemis mission will be splashed down on Earth in about 50 minutes. Will it really? I'll see that online. 35547 says Joe Biden better than Donald Trump as a person. Oh my God, what world are you living in? Biden was a big problem. They wanted our country divided. Well, I mean, I never said he was a better president than Trump, but I mean, gotta be real with ourselves here. What are your views on Trump, says Fairy Bread? If he does something that I agree with, I'll applaud him. If he does something that I disagree with, I will, speak out against it. I not really into the people that treat politics like sports, where they kind of make it their personality, and they agree with someone. If you agree with someone 100% of the time, chances are you're a little brainwashed, but who knows. Trump doesn't command a room, and Russia attacked Ukraine because they wanted to, because of Biden. Forget the past and talk about now. Well, I mean, I was reading a comment, but they didn't attack Ukraine the previous 4 years under Trump, but I mean, Trump's not the one falling over sandbags. Biden passed the most pro-American legislation since FDR, but most MAGA's too lazy to know that. You're back from yesterday. Glad you're here, regardless of your views. Grid says, what up, gang? How's it going? 4 likes away from 55. I do have a donation goal. You can always just watch for free. You don't have to donate. I'll never force someone to donate, but it does help. Help out a little bit. Makes it worthwhile for sure. Let's see here. Tell me in the comments, when are you guys scrolling YouTube the most so that I know when to go live? Because normally I'm going live around 6 o'clock, but I feel like if I went live a little earlier, I can get some more people in here. Get that guy out of the White House, says Jamal. Gotta wait a couple of years, buddy. Research Biden's legislation so you can be informed and less MAGA. Wouldn't consider myself MAGA just because I agree with Trump sometimes. Living for Christ Jesus says, yep, Trump is doing a good job. Can you please elaborate and tell me what you think he's done that you agree with, so that I can tell you. Someone says, hello, I saw your stream. Can't really call right now, but I'll text. It's good that you can't call because the viewers wouldn't be able to hear you anyways, but it should be fixed tomorrow. So definitely call in when I stream again. And the person that called in earlier that they weren't able to hear, I really hope that she calls again because that was a solid conversation. You dropped the part? Yeah. Gas is expensive. Unfortunately, it is since March, yeah. John Anthony says they waited until the drooling fool Biden was in office to attack Ukraine. H1X says Trump is doing a great job ruining our economy, our planet, and our standing globally. The economy has only really started to go bad in March, but in terms of our standing globally, I agree with some of the stuff he did with the threatening of tariffs to make other countries pay their fair share. Agree with what he did in, I think, 2017 or 2019 or something like that, where he pressured Germany to pay us more for defending them against Russia because they were buying oil from Russia. So it's a little bit of a conflict of interest there. Inflation exploded in March. It did. The whole Iran thing. Trump has gotten rid of tax on tips and tax on overtime. That's good. Definitely a positive. Hopefully we get less personal attacks today than we did yesterday. Big Gorlock says, that's a crazy profile picture. Trump is doing an amazing job. He has neutralized the threat of Venezuela, established tariffs, and shown that he isn't a pushover to other countries. While the economy isn't great right now, it'll get better with the war at a ceasefire now. Sure do hope so. I tend to agree with the operation in Venezuela. They had quite obviously a dictator who wasn't duly elected and was talking crazy, and we ended up getting a little bit of oil out of it. Frey Bread, what are views on LGBTQ people? Don't really have any. I mean, you're free to live how you want. Doesn't really matter to me. John Anthony says, I'm not MAGA either. That's ignorant when people just assume you are because I believe Iranians want freedom. He didn't attack for that, but I really hope that's the result. The Shia are outsiders. Ron Goat says, the new Fed chairman starts in May. The interest rate will drop. The economy will boom. Hopefully. Is Jerome Powell really, is he leaving? Haven't heard about that. Pocket Marmo says, I think the tariffs have been a complete disaster. Tariffs were mostly just a threat. He didn't really act on them. Just scared people into paying more. Luke says, Trump is done. Please elaborate. Someone says, Trump has also got rid of the threat of Iranian nukes. I feel like the past 10 presidents have said that there's weapons of mass destruction in Iran, and it always gets us into a 30-year war in the Middle East with Americans losing their lives, so part of me hopes that there were, Price of energy is a component of everything. If you can't get good prices on energy, your product will never be able to compete on price. Someone says, hey man, did you do your laundry? I did. I don't really, I'll take this to the dry cleaner every couple months, but just wearing a regular shirt underneath, of course. Of course, laundry was done. He's interested in you, that's why he asked. Rongo, Trump broker 8-piece place deals, ending wars, saving millions, working on 3 more. Yeah, I had that stat. Let me read it again. 8 conflicts under the Trump administration with mediating ceasefires, brokering peace agreements, and applying diplomatic and economic pressure are Armenia, Azerbaijan, Israel, Hamas, Israel, Iran. Israel seems to be in a lot of these. Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda, India and Pakistan, Cambodia and Thailand, Serbia and Kosovo, Egypt and Ethiopia. I think the biggest one in this is probably India and Pakistan. Those are big countries, a lot of people in them. Probably saved a solid amount of lives there. I'm thinking your parents are wasting their money paying for your degree. Once again, personal attacks. If you disagree with me, that's fine, but talking about my family is not going to happen. Just saying, H1X. I'm happy you're here. I hope you're having a good Friday regardless, but let's try not to talk about my family who aren't here to defend themselves. Appreciate it. Batner says there are no weapons of mass destruction in Iran. There's a batch of weapon-grade uranium as far as publicly known info goes. Yeah. Probably true. I have a question for all Democrats. What is it about Iranian pleas to save them that you don't believe? Only people I see saying don't attack Iran are social media entities. It is kind of funny. You see videos coming out of Iran of tens of thousands of people celebrating in the streets holding Iranian flags and American flags, and it's always people online in the United States that are saying that we shouldn't have done it. It's kind of funny, but just got in the support or nah. Support him sometimes, yeah. Volcano says no, please elaborate. Appreciate it. He's only lied about fixing conflicts. I mean, brother, the leaders of those countries quite literally went to a summit to personally thank him, but you can continue believing what you want. H1X says, thanks for confirming you're not an independent adult who has any understanding of adult economics. You are you spent the entire stream yesterday calling me a child, so in your logic, you're an adult attacking a child. That seems a little bit weird to me, but to each their own, I guess. You do you. Just don't talk about my family. It's not gonna happen. You're good, Evan. Reese's Gaming Channel 4290 says, sub, yes. We're almost at 11,200 subs. Doesn't cost anything, and liking does help. 5 away from 60 likes. Let's see if we can get to that within the next 3 minutes. God's plan for God's son says, you're a child. I'm 21 years of age, so legally no. H1X says, you don't deny it. Don't know what you're talking about. But you said thanks for confirming you're not an independent adult who has any understanding of adult economics. That was in response to me asking you not to talk about my family members, but you do you. I would never talk about you or your family like that, man. Some people were just raised differently. Someone says someone beat me to it. How are you going to ask us if he's doing a good job and then proceed to hate on our opinion? Doesn't that go against the grain? I'm not hating anybody's opinion. I would think what you're in reference to is I've had somebody in the chat attack me and my family members on a personal level, and you're free to disagree with me politically. But in every statement that I read here, I try and find common ground, as noted in the debate earlier. Appreciate it, Reese's. Child 0, real world experience. You have absolutely no evidence of that, but appreciate it. I see you think it's an insult that your parents are supporting you. Weird and ungrateful. It's quite obvious what you were getting at. You were getting at the fact that you believe that I'm incapable of supporting myself and that I so-called depend on every family member to do things for me. You can continue to dance around that, but I saw it for what it is, and I think everybody else in the stream did too. Mr. Fretwell says, don't take the bait. This is just a loop for likes and clicks. The best response is to stop giving it attention, disengage, and move on. I'm just here to talk to people. T-Pal says, no free speech, eh? If there wasn't any free speech, then I wouldn't have comments going. I like to hear people's point of views, as long as it's not personal. Big Gorlock with a solid comment says, let's just take a look real quick at which political party in the comments is acting irrationally right now to a neutral person seeking political advice and opinions. Not wrong. Ron Goat says the Greenland deal has been worked out in a framework. U.S. military will be in Greenland. Not sure how to feel about that. 21 years of evidence. I guess King Baldwin wasn't experienced at the age of 16 conquering countries, but I guess age determines experience. You do you. John Anthony, again, question for host and Democrats. Why do you believe or not believe Venezuela is better off? Same with the U.S. and illegals. Why was it okay for Obama and Biden to target illegals but not Trump? Obama and Biden deported more people than Trump did on a massive scale. Again, with the chud comments, this chronically online vocabulary from someone who claims to be an adult. It's a little embarrassing for you, but he says, oh, we see it. You're a self-important little chud who has never earned their way. Yet you judge others. Haven't judged one person in this chat. I've never talked about one person in this chat. I talk about their views. The only person who has talked about someone personally is you. Everybody sees it. That's why nobody agrees with you. T-Pal, of course there's free speech. I'm not going to agree with everything that everybody says because I have my own opinions, but I try and find commonality in everything as long as it isn't personal attacks. Irrationally is thinking hurting people in Iran is being celebrated. I mean, brother, you probably don't even know that there was a regime change, but you do you. I think people over there are more concerned about where to get food and water than what you're talking about. That's why they, on a massive scale, have been thanking the current administration for their actions over there. But Big Orlock says, have a good night. Appreciate it. Hope to see you again. Are you comparing yourself to world conquerors? Not at all, no. Just someone who thinks that age is a measure of experience, so I had to prove him wrong. Mr. Fretwell says, you're forgetting about Obama, the border-in-chief himself, or deporter-in-chief himself. Yeah, I know Greenland's a strategic area. I'd rather us have it than, some of our adversaries. God's Plan says, well, I vote Republican, but clearly you are a cult member. I'm not MAGA. I'm not even a Republican. If Trump does something good, I'll commend him. If he does something bad, then I'll talk out about it. But definitely not a cult member. Don't know how you got that. Fairy says, hope you're having a nice Friday, and I just wanted to share my opinions. Thank you for debating with all of us. Appreciate it. Hope to see you again, and I hope you're having a great day as well. What's up, CR Edits? I kind of recognize your name. You didn't insult my family, but you brought them up in a conversation where they're not here to speak about it. Was more of an insult to me than my family. Bill Marvin says, Trump's not part of the New World Order. That alone is enough for my support. God's Plan says, if you're a Republican, you still support Trump. You're a cult member and a traitor to the American Republic. So basically anybody with different views than you is a traitor. Sounds a little 1940s, but Rage Baiters are here only to break up the conversation and get attention to replace whatever it is they're lacking. I feel like there's one specific person in the comment section that just loves to come in here and stir things up, which is fine. Perfectly allowed to do that. There's no regime change. You're a lying little kid. He gave it to them on a silver platter and told them the next 24 hours are going to be the most important in your country's history. It's not our job to change it for them. He served it to them on a silver platter, and it's up to them whether or not it's happened, which it has not yet, but it's the only president to serve it up to them like that. Zamus says, do you want to hear jokes? Sure. What did I stumble upon? You happy? What's up, MC? Hope you're having a good day. Asher, it's you from last night. Appreciate it. See if we can get to 70 likes within the next 3 minutes. We're 6 away. We got a younger, more extreme leader. Yay, us. What are you in reference to? Do you think World War III will happen? I hope not. I feel like if it were to happen, there'd be less physical people fighting. It'd be more technology, which would be better and worse. But age does tend to align with your experience, says T. Powell. But when there's people in here who don't know an ounce about me saying that just because I'm 21 years old, I don't know anything and shouldn't be allowed to have my First Amendment right to free speech, then it's a little impeding. What's up, Nathan? He's not reading YouTube chat? Yeah, I am. Good night. Goodbye now. Have a good Friday. You too. Hope to see you tomorrow, Fairy Bread. How do you make holy water? I'm not sure. Actually, I know where that's going. You boil it. Actually, no, I might be wrong. I think I got my jokes mixed up. John Anthony, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. You tell MAGA's lie for them, figure that out. No, not everything that you disagree with is a lie. Fruit Tree says, love all the talk. And out using the 25th, when they had a literal vegetable in office, they claimed Biden was sharp as a tack, and it's insane. Hypocrisy is wild. God's Plan says, I'm an employer of 13 people for the last 10 years. Congrats to you. I didn't say anything negative about that. Seems like you're doing a good job. Pocket says, how far do we have to get into the Trump presidency before Trump stops blaming everything on sleepy Joe Biden? Every president blames their wrongdoings on the previous. It's unfortunate. Accountability is not popular in government. I do know that there's no regime change in Iran, but Trump's the only president to serve them the opportunity to one. For one, I should say. So Hard Rock. So Froggy. Once again, if you think he's doing bad, click the three dots and then the like button. And if you think he's doing good, click the subscribe button. We're 8 away from 11,200. That's pretty big. Appreciate the floating heart for 10 Jules Hard Rock. Can you name some things that Trump has been horribly wrong? He it's very polarizing, and he rarely takes accountability. You display you don't know anything, honey. We've seen that because it's obvious. I mean, you're the only one in here that seems to have those sentiments, but alright. Artemis Moon Mission will be splashing down in a few minutes, says Sizzle. I'll have to check that out later. Marza, the goat, says, Marza Tax, I should say, says, y'all judge age like he didn't vote for a convicted felon who's going to pass any day. The one rage baiting people on the internet. There are some rage baiters in here. Lucille says, been listening a while, so I'm heading out. God loves you. Have a good Friday. Appreciate it. Hope to see you again. What's up, Circuit Bard again? John Anthony says Biden was mumbling for 3 straight minutes on national television. H1X says you don't even know what is true and what is false. You don't have any actual research. That's the point. I do have actual research. It's just that you think that everything you disagree with is a lie. Circuit Bard says fervently disagree with you, but hope you're well. Appreciate that comment so much. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks for being very civil. Cheryl says Trump is in good health. H1X says no, not every president does that. Only a child would say that. Once again, not sure what you're referring to. What's up, Geralde, I believe. Mars Attack says, God's plan, you have a job and you're like 50. Why are you calling a 21-year-old stupid for his own beliefs? Thank God we have some people defending me here because I cannot take them all on my own. I'm new to this too, so kind of daunting a little. Appreciate it, for real. Sounds like your feelings about Trump, says Mr. Fretwell. Not sure what that's in reference to. Someone says the days of debate are over. I hope not. Maybe public debate for the next couple months until things settle down, but couldn't really see myself. I mean, based on how stuff is being said in here, I couldn't imagine myself being in a public setting. I feel might be a bad move, but who knows what's going to happen. Jay says, not going to lie, he's been cooking. Joe Biden lives inside of Donald Trump's brain rent-free. He's always talking about him. H1X says, if your parents pay for everything, you don't have to be bothered by gas, food, energy prices. Paying for your own health insurance, and you blindly pretend you understand economics like a chud. Once again, chronically online vocabulary from someone who claims to be an adult. But number one, you don't know anything about me. I pay for gas, my food. Yeah, my parents, I'm very lucky and privileged to have fantastic parents that cover my housing while I'm pursuing higher education. I mean, it's unfortunate that you weren't able to get that, but it doesn't mean that you have to talk down on others that do. Just sounds a little insecure in my personal opinion. Someone says, I like Trump, he's great, and that's my opinion. Could you tell me why you think he's great? Appreciate it. No, dear, I've done actual research, not reading MAGA websites. If you consider FBI.gov and WhiteHouse.gov MAGA websites, then that's on you. But I've never met someone who has chud and honey and deer in their vocabulary. Very contradicting. Not every president blames their predecessor. Only a child would say that. Well, everyone that I've been alive for has. SJ says Democrats have threatened to burn down cities on live. I haven't seen that. Cheryl says, just because people don't agree with you doesn't make them any less freedom of speech. Agreed. I think it's great that we got people in here that disagree with me. Makes it more fun. And we're lucky to live in a country that allows difference of opinion. H1X once again. So maybe learn some actual facts before trying to do this. I get all my info from .gov, but it's probably in your head a far-right news source, but you do you. I mean, during the previous administration, I got the information from .gov as well. So, I mean, John Anthony says, why is the left so geared to attack? Why is it as someone in the middle, I can talk to the right, but if I disagree with any on the left on a single issue, it's immediate attack mode? What is that? Not sure. It's definitely on both sides, but over the past 6 months, I've seen it a tad more on one, but it's definitely not exclusive to the left. Republicans do not usually come with facts. Prove me wrong. Give me some examples. Abigail says, check your messages. I sent one. Hey, you can call me Abigail on the stream. I just want to say I really don't agree with a lot of things he does. However, I do like how he's a Christian, but I do not support him. Appreciate the comment. He says he's a Christian, but he could definitely act more Christian-like, that's for sure. But appreciate the comment. And I know there's a number on the screen. I had one fantastic caller today, but unfortunately the audience could not hear her. And apparently I had a setting wrong or something like that. So tomorrow the audience will be able to hear the people talking, and I hope that all the conversations go as gracefully as the one that happened earlier, because that was a lot of fun. Let's see here. H1X says, you're too insecure because you don't know anything. I think the insecure one would be someone attacking someone that they've never met in real life. Once again, chronically online behavior. But not insecure at all. Not at all. Very happy with myself and very blessed to have a fantastic family that supports me. I'm sorry that you weren't able to get that. Why are there so many chatters usernames here end with XXX? Seems like AI. YouTube had something like 3 years ago where they made usernames a thing, and if you didn't edit it, it automatically gave you letters or numbers. Are you happy with his Easter message? Not really. I didn't like how he compared himself to Jesus. That was not a fantastic thing to say. It was hard to debate because we agreed on it. It was, but in my opinion, I mean, you were the first person to ever call and actually have things to say, and the fact that we agreed on a lot made it a lot more fun. And I'm definitely happy you called, and I hope you do call again when I get this stuff fixed. Ron Goat says Gavin Newsom foot California 1.6 trillion in debt. He has no chance. H1X says he says he's a Christian. That's what a lifelong fraud, lifelong liar, and lifelong con of gullible suckers would say. Alright. Jonathan says I broke my stepmom today. Condolences, but might be a language barrier there. That's an odd comment for sure. His cognitive decline is showing badly. Someone says, no, of course he doesn't know anything about immigrants. He has confirmed that. I mean, I've been very firm in my belief that there needs to be a, it needs to be easier for people to become American citizens the legal way. But I'm also against illegal immigrations, especially the scale that we had during the previous administration. I think that it's not good to American citizens, and it's not good for the people that were crossing the border to come here unchecked, unvetted. And I do wish that it was easier for them to come legally, but two things can be true at once, and that's one of them. Ron Goat says Democrats have been taken over by the progressive wing. Just look at Congress. They are socialist. Just the radical ones. There's radical left and radical right as well. What are your positions, Mr. Maxwell? In terms of the question, is Trump doing a good job? Yes and no. I like how he handled the border. Definitely needed to be more training for ICE. I'm not against, or I am against defunding organizations such as police departments and ICE. But like how he closed the border. That was like his main campaign thing, and he got that done pretty quick. Once again, I'm getting some calls here. I do advise that you wait and call again tomorrow when the stream can hear you, because it makes it more fun for everybody. So please do call again tomorrow to the person that's ringing up right now. Once again, we're 7 subs away from 11,200, and see if we can get to 75 likes within the next 3 minutes. And I do have a donation goal. If you'd like to donate, it can be as little as $1, and you get a solid shout out. Of course, you can always watch for free. No need to donate. But I do recommend you do type in the chat. The legal way takes 20 years. Make that make sense? Yeah, it's rough. What's up, Arianis? Hello from Paris, says Crawler. Someone says, I agree, I support Israel. Alright. Just Me says, very pro-Trump, I'm very happy with them. Can you please go into depth? Chase says, I'm a Trump supporter. What's up, Sanjia? I feel like you might have called at one point, like a month ago or so, I don't know. Did someone say Israel? Is a comment from Israel first. ICE worked perfectly fine before Trump came into office. They didn't have as much to do before Trump came into office because so many people had crossed the border. Like just saying buzzwords to make people send you stuff. I'm not saying any buzzwords. I consider myself center-right, probably. Not Republican or Democrat. Not MAGA. Griffin says, what are your opinions on Trump? I stand in the middle. I do not support Trump's current war on the Epstein files, but I do agree on the border closing so far. A lot of actions I disagree. I'm basically with you. Why would you donate to this guy? You should get a job. You don't have to donate. Nobody's forcing anybody to donate. I mean, I'm making money regardless. Someone says, I subbed. I hope you hit 12K by midnight. Appreciate it. But that will probably not be happening. It's from 305. Appreciate it. I think the most subs I've gotten in one stream is 500. And that was with 100,000 viewers or so. This is so wild. Is this enjoyable for you? When people ask you what you do for a living, do you actually tell them you do this? No, this is just a hobby. I'm a full-time college student, studying finance, getting a degree in finance, and have a upcoming internship that I'm pretty excited about. So this is just a hobby as of the moment, but I do make money occasionally. How's he a good president for the things he's done? I mean, promised the border would be closed. Closed that. Ended 8 wars. He did promise Ukraine and Russia would be ended in one day. That's a big campaign promise that was broken, unfortunately. Nuanced opinions on a YouTube live, that's crazy. I mean, I just tell people what I think and respond to what they think. I support Palestine because they have been terrorized for so long. And comparing the issues Palestine has been through more, and I feel the worst for them. But Hamas is bad, obviously. Yeah, that was an insane conflict. It's crazy how we are fighting wars for Israel. Do you tell your mom that you pay your bills by debating comment sections on YouTube Live? Not at all. They don't even really know that I do this. I mean, I've been making videos for a decade now. Just do it for fun. I don't make a living or pay my bills from content creation as of the moment. Someone says, Trump is great because he's transparent. You definitely see him more than Biden. H1X, I mean, that comment, I mean, nobody's mentioned anything about that, but alright. Trump hired ICE to ban us from a country. Could you elaborate? If I had money, I'd donate twin, I swear. You know, it's funny, I actually am an identical twin. No need to donate. That call was great. Just Me says, I served the 1st Infantry back in the day. I stand behind Trump. Thanks for your service. Appreciate it. Aiden McPherson, I recognize that name. I feel like you might have been in here before. Says Trump is doing what I voted for. Someone says, Trump bombed my garden. Can I get justice? Once again, I do know there is a number on the screen, but unfortunately the viewers are not able to hear the caller. We had one call today that they weren't able to hear, but it went fantastic. And should be fixed tomorrow, so you guys can actually hear the people talking. Make it a lot more fun. Someone says, my culture is against Trump. Can you please elaborate? Roddy says, just got back from overseas. Have you ever tried Cayman cider? I've been to the Cayman Islands, but I have not tried Cayman cider. Might have to look into that. What's up, Travis? Someone says, I like how you avoid my truthful comment. Let me find it. Cannot find it. Make sure you're not typing in all caps. Someone says, are you going to accept calls? Or I did one call today. Like I said, viewers weren't able to hear it. So when the number's on the screen tomorrow, please call in and the viewers can hear you. And we can debate from there. But I did my one and only call today, and unfortunately my settings were a little wrong. Just Me says Trump is the boss. Brian says nice live, appreciate it. Simply scroll up and look for your name. I mean, you've commented like 30 times, so I don't know which one you're referring to. Almost at 80 likes. Costs nothing to drop a like or subscribe. We're 4 away from 11,200. Can you elaborate, RJ? Can you call me Cooper? I'm just a kid scrolling. Alright, Cooper. You're just as bad as Trump supporters? Am I bad because I believe things that you don't agree with? I mean, are we really calling people that you disagree with bad just because they have different opinions? And that's how people get hurt, unfortunately. But I hope you're having a good day, TK. RJ, I mean, the southern border was open, so most of the people crossing the border were South Americans, so not really wrong to say that it was mostly South Americans that were crossing the border, considering it was quite literally the southern border. You agree with him on threatening an entire civilization? When did I say that I did? I never said that. And are you referring to what he said about Iran the other day? I don't agree with that at all. I never said I did. I don't know why you think differently. Someone says Trump is leading a genocide on trans and non-white Americans. He exhibits fascist tendencies and ideals, and he has thrown us into a war with Iran that serves no benefit to Americans. Can you elaborate on the first part? But I wouldn't consider the whole Iran situation a war until we have boots on the ground. But I'm very against the conflict in general. Dude, accept callers so people can elaborate. I've accepted callers today, like 2 callers today, but like I said, like 5 times now, the audience can't hear them, and it's not good for anybody when that happens. So if you want to call, definitely do so tomorrow. So as a matter of fact, let's see here. Alright, just got rid of the number just so that people can understand. Talking about the most redundant stuff, let people talk. I'm quite simply responding to what people are saying. A good job based off what specific points or just in general? I feel like in general argument could go on forever. Let's say campaign promises. Is he delivering on his main ones, which were the border? Someone says Trump is the GOAT. False advertising for views? No, not at all. I mean, I quite literally had people call in today and I answered and talked to them on stream, so it's not false advertising at all. RJ doesn't know what redundant means, says Austin. The No Kings bunch are priceless. I was never able to find evidence of himself like claiming to be a king. Someone said there are no sane people left. Get some bone spurs, kid. You're gonna need them. Nah. Trump stooges like Trump himself do not handle criticism in anything like a constructive way. Definitely not a Trump stooge, and the only criticism that I might have been extreme on was when somebody attacked me and my family earlier in the stream. But as long as you're commenting on my ideas, there's no problem. Just don't talk about my family when they're not here to defend themselves. Ron Goat says the Democrats don't realize that the No King's Day is July 4th. It always has been. Just Me says lol or do what Biden did, dodge the draft with college deferments. PS Bone Spurs are disqualifying reason from service. I mean, H1X, it's quite literally on video. Seems like an excuse to me. Austin says every country locks their borders down. If that's a discussion point, he's technically doing the right thing. No, I agree. The only country that is apparently not able to do that is the United States of America. Like if a bunch of Americans were to cross the southern border into Mexico, they should be deported. I mean, there's laws, you know. CR says my dad got a Trump wig. That's a wild purchase. Jesse says, hi, I was here from yesterday. Can I just have your opinion on Trump? Well, I'm kind of just responding to people's opinions in the chat and telling them if I agree or disagree, but if he does something that I like, then sure. But if he doesn't, I'm never going to be afraid to call him out on it. I agreed with his decision on the border. I think that was a big win, in my personal opinion. Wars have been fought over the exact topic. Agreed. Almost at 80 likes, by the way. 5 away. Let's see if we can get there in 3 minutes. And if you do subscribe, your name will pop up on the screen if you're interested. John Anthony, kid wants it both ways. He tells Trump lies for him and shares his bigotry but doesn't want to be labeled. I mean, if you label everything that you disagree with as bigotry and then act surprised when something bad happens to the person you labeled, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you can't just use these buzzwords and expect people to take you seriously, you know? If everything you disagree with is bigotry, then you might just be narcissistic. Embrace says, hang on, you support Trump? Sometimes. If he does good, then sure. Intimate, in regards to your comment, I mean, in personal spaces, I think that biology should be followed, but I'm definitely against the second part of your comment. I don't think changing people from what they want to be is a fantastic thing to do. I don't think so. Blaze, do you support him? Depends on the topic. H1X says illegally invaded countries. The only people that are mad that he illegally invaded countries are Americans, and the people in those countries are jumping in joy, so I'd have a little bit more compassion for them if I were you. Guilty of being right says Trump is a genius. Doug says yes, please elaborate. Joseph says, I think Trump is doing great with the immigration, but I think we need to do more. Tend to agree. Just Me says, did not ruin my small business. Yeah, it's just a big talking point, but it rarely happens. What do you think about the Steen? No opinion. John Anthony says he said he's middle. Nothing he said implied that he's not. You're assuming because your side is deeply disturbed. I hope this animosity goes away soon. It's really unhinged and creepy. I mean, I always start stream with telling people, no matter their point of view, it's welcome in my comment section, and I'm happy that we have the First Amendment right where we can talk about this in a civil way. And I try to find things that I agree with in every comment, and I still get a fair share of attacks. But what can you do? Susan says Trump has a lot of LGBTQ in his cabinet. That's true. Embrace Madness says I don't support Trump. He's ruined the USA standing in the world and made the world less safe. I think you said that he's ruined the USA standing in the world. I think countries are just mad that they're now having to pay their fair share, and they're mad that the US is no longer the piggy bank of the world. Hammy says he's doing a terrible job. Please elaborate. Appreciate the comment. Hopeful Hathaway says, I think you're an intelligent man. Wish more men could be more like you. The world would be better. Appreciate it. Definitely needs to be more people that can see the good in both sides. Let's see H1X. Yep, not 20 million, 17 million. If that helps you. I mean, that's 17 million accounted for. I can't imagine they tagged down all 17 million people, you know, there's got to be more. And once again, I'm not a kid, but if I'm a kid, then it's kind of weird that you're talking or saying some kind of out of pocket stuff about a kid. It's a little weird in my opinion. Seems to be a commonality with you. Just Me says, lol, we have Trump for almost 3 more years. Imagine what he'll get done. Ron Goat says it's between 50 and 20 million that they know of. Yeah. Bushwick, I never said that I supported that. Hammy, that's a crazy comment, and seems to be a very common sentiment for people on the left nowadays. Is from what I've seen, just based off of some comments, is violence. But all right. Ron says, have you ever noticed you are only attacked by those on the left the Democrats, the progressives? Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because I'm in the middle. Imagine what they would do to a MAGA person, you know? I mean, I guess we know what they would do. We saw it in September. But at Jesus Christ Everywhere, can I call in? The call-ins will be back up tomorrow. Unfortunately, the chat today was unable to hear the callers for some reason, so I'll have it fixed for tomorrow. You think 3 million people crossed the border H1X? Are we serious? Are we? Wow, I mean, I was closer than you are, and you're calling me a liar. That's funny. That's cute. H1X, if you actually go back, I said I believe, but oh well. D-Man says, love Trump. I guarantee you, I know there's at least one person in this comment section that would, thinks that what happened to Charlie Kirk was justified. I know that there's got to be some. And that's frightening. Someone said Donald Trump breaks the Constitution at every chance they get. You mean how his opponent didn't win the primary but somehow was able to run in the general election? Just Me says the left are weak. They think they're sick, but we're being way too nice. Liberals are scared. Is it jail when you have a spa and a puppy? What does that mean? Ludwig says the left keeps falsely accusing Trump of being involved with Epstein, even though Trump ended their friendship long before Epstein's first arrest. And Trump wasn't at the island either, says Ludwig. Strazenhaus, that's a cool name. Someone says MAGA doesn't know what a liberal is, nor do they know what leftism is. Well, I mean, I would argue that there's a lot of leftist beliefs that are relatively confusing and go against what has been thought to be true over the past couple thousand years. Someone says if Trump broke the Constitution, you would know it. It's just a left talking point. He never has. You can't name it. Someone says, I like how cool your hair is. It's way too long. Should get it thinned out here pretty soon, but appreciate it. It means Blanche went to Maxwell and moved her to a low-security prison for white-collar criminals and then gave her a puppy. Grown-ups know these things. I think it's really only chronically online people that know these things. People that don't touch grass that, are sitting and reading things all day that get them so riled up that they need to go on the internet and attack people's families. I think that's probably a little bit more accurate for your comment, H1X. Trump and his administration consistently protect the perps in association with Epstein. I mean, he was the only president to release the files. Happy birthday, Eric. I'll keep it at that. Just Me says it's fun to watch. Appreciate it. Let's see if we can get to 90 likes. So judgy about things you know nothing about. I respect your parents. I just wish you spent more time studying and less time telling MAGA's lies for them. Like, brother, you said that 3 million illegal immigrants came into this country. I was closer than you, so you have no room to talk. Number two, I've said multiple times that I have not read up on the Epstein files. I'm glad that I haven't. And I told people not to take what I say about the Epstein files as truth because I have not read them. Said that. And the only person judging anybody here is you. Don't even know your name, you know? Morpheus says Trump didn't release the files? Might be a couple months behind, buddy. Congress forced Trump to release the files. They could have forced any other president, too. Fact check that, kiddo. I mean, there was no substance in the comment. It was just talking about me as usual. Seem a little bit obsessed if you want to know the truth. Why did they redact things that don't need redacting? I don't know. It shouldn't be redacted. Should have got them in full. Someone says his parents are probably MAGA. It's conditioning. Again, the classic leftist thing to do is anybody who has a slight disagreement with them, just absolutely villainize them and label them these things. I mean, I've said probably a dozen times that I'm not MAGA. I'm not a Trumper. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. If he does something that I like, I'll commend him for it. If he does something that I don't like, I'll condemn him for it. But to label anybody who agrees with you a MAGA is kind of crazy. Ludwig says, judge a man by his fruits. Trump has very successful and healthy children and grandchildren. John Porkinism, that's a funny name, says, come on, if you're going to grift, then do it more aggressively. Selling your soul doing this mindless political content to get 32 viewers seems stupid. This changes no one's mind, and you make zero money. I mean, I had a stream 2 weeks ago that had 40,000 viewers, but I don't do this for money at all. I do this because I like it. I've been creating content for a decade now. And I'm sorry that the First Amendment offends you so much, but I hope you're having a good day, John. Embrace says, oh, you're so ignorant. Can you elaborate? If you fail art school, try politics. Just me says Trump is the best president since Reagan. That's crazy. Why are you so mad people perceive you as young? Because when you say it in a condescending way and end every sentence with kid and honey, I mean, it's a little much for an adult as yourself to do to someone you perceive as a kid, but all right. I agree, intimate. Joseph says, if you're not a far leftist, you're a Trumper to a leftist. I mean, I've tried to be pretty in the middle this stream, and I've been called some crazy buzzwords, that have gotten people hurt, just like in September, but there's not much accountability. Embraces, so why be so ignorant on Epstein then? Brother, I want all the files out. I don't want there to be any redactions. I mean, if you want redactions, then that's your opinion, but I don't want any redactions. Maybe you do, Embraced. I don't know. John says, right on. It's the people who have nothing better to do but stew in the mass misery / fear-mongering that has become social media today. Name-calling and personal attacks are an ultra-low IQ move. Marza, back at my defense. Let's go. Thought you were gone. 90% of you guys are harassing the poor guy. Morpheus says it was Congress that released the files. Trump campaigned on releasing the files, and then he criticized his own supporters for being mad about his refusal to release the files. Yeah, I don't know why he got so mad, especially when he ran on it, but thanks for the enlightenment. Appreciate it. Ron says, the left are the most intolerant group. The left is violence. The left is misinformation. The left is censoring. The left is literally anti-Trump and everything. Doesn't matter what it is. I don't know. It's a lot of buzzwords. I wouldn't characterize all the left as that for sure. If you're not MAGA, why aren't you interested in Trump's ties to Epstein? Because I don't really want to sit down and read 100,000 pages of files. I'm obviously against Trump's ties to Epstein. I mean, I've never claimed to be in support of it, you know. Someone says it's time to leap off the HMS Trump Titanic before it sinks beneath the waters. For the 13th time, not a Trumper. If you think that everybody who has a slight difference of opinion than you is a Trumper, then I would probably reconsider a lot. Caleb says Jesus is king. Joseph says, yeah, I remember that sad day on September 10th. A great man was taken. That was a crazy, crazy time. Once again, someone says, you tell Trump's lies for him and then whine about being name calling. Wow. Can you tell me a lie? I mean, you said that there was like 3 million people that crossed the southern border. Absolute lie on your part. You said that Trump didn't end any wars when I named 8, and you continue to deny that. I don't know. Maybe you just are allergic to information. Who knows? Republicans think they can dish it out but can't take it. Brother, what are you talking about? I think that's 15 times now that I'm not subscribed to a party. Like, what are we doing? Mars Attack says, son, I'm a leftist. I'm not that bad. For real. Trump flunkies continually telling us that Trump is the very best president we have ever had, not prevent him from being impeached. I never said he was the best president. Never said that. I don't know if like there's like an audio thing, but where it's like giving out the exact opposite, but who knows? Once, because he hasn't figured out, like an adult does, that a man's character informs his policy. You seem to be very obsessed with this whole kid versus adult thing. I mean, it's in every comment you leave. It's a little concerning at this point, especially as someone who claims to be an adult that has been sitting here for about 2 hours, you know, talking about people who aren't here to defend themselves, but... Someone says, okay, if you're not a Trumper, what could he be doing better? I don't know, maybe not stirring stuff up with Iran. I feel like we should have left it at the July nuclear facility attack last year, and we should have done nothing else. Seems like they've had weapons of mass destruction for the past 30 years, but... Morpheus 1 says, Trump didn't end any wars at all. You're lying. Let's quick Google search. Let's see here. Let me go back. These are mediating ceasefires, brokering peace agreements, or applying diplomatic and economic pressure during the second Trump administration. 8 conflicts. Let's see. Armenia, Azerbaijan, Israel, Hamas, ceasefire, Israel, Iran. There's a lot of Israel in here. Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda, India and Pakistan, Cambodia and Thailand, Serbia and Kosovo, Egypt and Ethiopia. There was even a summit where the leaders of these countries came there and thanked him personally. But I mean... Someone says, if you support Trump, you're not a good person. I think that's a crazy statement. I don't think, I don't know. I feel like if you think that people that disagree with you are, as a whole, bad, it's not how I would go about it, but... You haven't said why your parents need defending for, giving you their money. You're their child who's still their dependent child. Weird. Once again, I'm fully grown adult, 21 years of age. I mean, it seems like you just want me to cut my parents off completely so that I can have a life like you. But I would like to apologize to H1X for having loving parents. I'm very sorry about that. Very sorry. I wish you had the same. Maybe you would have ended out a little different. Who knows? I mean, I've wished you a good day about 5 times, and it's been nothing but negativity on your part. You know, it's. Y'all are like that one sketch, like the "Shut Up, Mom" silence from you with a guy who's barely old enough to drink. For real. And I feel like this H1X guy is probably midlife crisis territory. Seems 50 years of age. Probably, you know, probably just pets, you know. Morpheus wants us, so why do you worship Trump if you are not a MAGA / Trumper? I do not worship him at all. Not at all. Not at all. I'm not a MAGA person. In this stream, like, I've criticized him so much in this stream. How do I worship him, you know? I feel like it's a little weird to criticize someone you worship, but how do you reach a point where you genuinely like a politician? For real. People treat politics like sports. Intimate? Do you think that's an insult? No, I don't. Leave my homie Andrew alone. Goat. Oh, you're only 21? Big ups. Appreciate it, Intimate. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday night. Stay with your parents as long as you can. Morpheus says, you're not a fully grown adult. You are a young adult. Based on being 21 years old, you haven't even begun to grow up. Is that because you disagree with some stuff that I've been saying? I mean, apparently you can't have freedom of speech at the age of 21 years old now. It's kind of crazy that some people think that that's genuine, you know? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, freedom of speech isn't granted at a specific age, but you're free to your opinions. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good one, regardless, Morpheus. Joseph says, if you're not bashing Trump, then you're worshipping him in their eyes. That's kind of what I've seen in this stream, at least. John Pork. John Pork, I had a fantastic debate with Mars Attacks near the beginning of the stream that the viewers weren't able to hear, and they were about some pretty, like, content-filled topics, and we agreed on just about everything. We found agreement, even if there was a slight disagreement. It's always good to find common ground and to use critical thinking skills, you know? You going to Coachella? Isn't that in California? It's across the country from me. Ron Goat says, what are your thoughts on the Summer of Love when the Democrats burned their own cities down? Portland took over their own cities, caused billions of damages, looting, burning, killing, injuries. That was a wild time. Raw Zone Media says Trump is the king of USA. Saint 1776 anymore. John Pork says fair enough. Joseph says freedom of speech should be absolute, even for the speech that you hate, even the stuff that hurts your feelings. You know, disagree with him politically, that's fine, but one thing that I liked that Elon Musk said was freedom of speech is only working when you're able to hear viewpoints that you vehemently disagree with. I think that's one of his better statements, and I agree with it. You should be obligated to hear viewpoints that you don't agree with and respect them regardless. And the media portrayed it as mostly peaceful protests. Andrew, is politics something you're planning on getting involved in the future? I have no clue. Probably content creation and business, but I like talking to people about some current topics, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. "17 can go to war, 21 is an adult." Agreed. Apparently, I'm still a child in the eyes of some of these people. Elon Musk giving his heart out in a familiar way. He is one awkward person, that's for sure. We are 11 likes away from 100. We gotta get there. Click the three dots and click the thumbs up. Okay, let's go. We're at 11,202 subscribers. Let's see if we can get to 11,210 by the end of the stream. It's weird. Time always flies when I'm streaming. I feel like I haven't been here for 2 hours. Appreciate your service, just to me. Let's keep the chats going. About a little under 5,000 viewers so far. Not fantastic, but still fun. NMF, I do remember you from yesterday, yep. Glad to see you again. Carlos, I just swiped up from another political chat. The atmosphere was way different in there, low. Political live chats legitimately make me lose faith in humanity, but it's common here. I try and be different than the other creators. I mean, the other creators are they seem to be stuck on one side instead of being able to find commonality. I try and find commonality as much as possible. So I'm glad you feel that way. That means a lot. That's a good comment. John Pork says, you seem kind of bitter about the child thing. I guarantee that most people saying it also realize that and thought it was easy rage bait. I get if you think that I'm feeling bitter, but in the beginning of the stream, I had some people claiming that just because I'm a child, I've never had any hardship in life. I'm not able to speak about these topics. And they even went as far as to bring up my family members who aren't here to defend themselves. So that's why I might seem a little bitter on that topic, but that's a funny username, John Pork. Did you see they filed for Trump's impeachment? Not surprised. John Anthony says, everything is about certain people's feelings. Everything bothers them. It's something I've not seen before. Like the attack you spoke of, it's creepy and disturbing. Why we're all supposed to be American? Or be American? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Mars Attack said it good there. People bringing up the fact that apparently 21 isn't an adult and you need to be over the age of 21 in 1 month, which, I mean, I turned 21 on March 17th, so a little less than a month. Apparently I got to be 21 and 2 months old to have a opinion on these topics, so, you know. Is that Jonesy from Fortnite? That's my icon skin, bro. What are you talking about? Joseph said, I thought 18 was an adult, lol. So did I. I mean, who knows anymore? Once again, 9 likes away from 100. 8 now. Let's see if we can get to 100. It's been a little while since I've gotten over 100 likes on one stream. I hate to say it. I cringe every time I say it. But I did set up a donation goal. You are not obligated to donate in any way whatsoever, but it does help out a lot. And you get a pretty big shout out. But you do not have to donate at all. You can just watch for free. But I do encourage you typing in the comment section for sure. Come on, bro. Stop falling for the rage bait. They don't care if you're a child. They just want to get you worked up. Well, the guy that was saying it was in here yesterday. Yesterday it was just personal attacks, and today it was personal attacks and saying stuff about my family members. I wouldn't consider that rage bait. It's pretty serious to me. I'm pretty good at filtering rage bait, you know. Are you still on your parents' payroll? I'm not. I'm not. The guy was talking like I get, as if I get like an allowance from my parents for simply living. Just doesn't happen. Let's see here. Been going for about 2 hours, 15 minutes. Wonder what the longest one I've done was. Let's get some more comments going. Tell you what, it was a lot more fun when we had a caller. Well, then you qualify for adulthood? I hope so. Ron Goat says, many of the leftist creators are paid. They read off of a script, repeating false narratives, creating division. That said, that should not happen. The guy that was rage baiting you was definitely unemployed? Probably. Probably so. He seems to have a lot of free time. Blue says, best president ever. Can you please elaborate on why you believe that? Ron Goat says, 17 hours after Donald Trump was elected, they were calling for impeachment. The left is unhinged socialist. I do remember in his first term, before he even took the oath of office, they were calling for his impeachment. Why are we personally attacking my homie? For real? Like, what's the point? It's fun though. I mean, every comment does help in a way, but his parents did a great job. I appreciate that. I'll be sure to tell them. What's to debate? Just, well, I mean, you said best president ever. I just kind of want you to go in depth on why you believe so. Did you vote for Kamala? No. I'm unaffiliated voting. Carlos says, so far I felt that Trump was doing alright, but this Iran situation, it has me upset. My son is 18 and does infantry in the Marine Corps. Now it's personal because this affects the safety of my child. I agree fully. When did politics turn into like a Super Bowl for some people? Like, I bet on election night there were genuinely people with like food set up on their table, probably had people over to watch it. Like that's insane to me, personally. Blue says Democrats are desperate, get a job. Trump was supposed to be the man. Sucks this happened. Yeah. 6 likes away from 100. See if we can get there within the next 2 minutes or so. And I'd like to end the stream with 11,210 subscribers. I thought I had the settings down perfectly, but seems like we just got a subscriber. A name will pop up under the sub count of the person who did subscribe. If you want to see your name, you do have to have your subscriptions public. You just go to your settings and do that. See. Someone says, no matter what, almost all of America wants Trump out of office due to the recent events. Don't get me wrong, he has done good things, but it feels like a power chase at this point. So that dude was for Trump until his son's life was in danger. What did he think he signed up for? Thank God the World War II generation and our founding fathers didn't have that mindset. Well, I mean, before this presidency, I mean, there were no new wars under his first presidency, so they were kind of right to believe that. AJ says the American people stand with Trump. John Porga, I agree with what you said there about he shouldn't get a third term. I think he just says that to rage bait people. And you said goes against the Constitution, which it does, but also propping up a candidate who didn't win a primary also goes against the Constitution. Yeah, Trump's definitely not going to get a third term for sure. The American people are done with the orange buffoon. Maybe leftists for sure. But I mean, not all of them. He was constantly threatening in his last term selective memory. I mean, my point still stands. There were no new wars. Trump likes to ruffle feathers. That's how he is, says Joseph. Ron says the Democrats were saying Harris was going to win in a landslide, just as they said with Hillary, and they were wrong both times. That is true, and they have the audacity to tell us about midterm poll numbers. The world is done with after the orange buffoon. I think you're reading into it way too much. It's definitely not that deep. Still 5 likes away from 100, by the way. I agree, Carlos. Someone said most Americans don't stand with Trump. People are public about this too. His Supreme Court case, results being released in a few months of him going against the Constitution. He needs out, in my opinion. Says Storm, I'll say. Durf Parade, you said point does not stand. You can't ignore everything and say, oh yeah, I'm still right. I never denied that he wasn't threatening in his first term, but it is true that there were no new wars started under his first term. You can't deny that. It seems like you're the only one denying that here. Darren says there's evidence coming out now of the stolen election of 2024. I mean, that sounds just like the Republicans in 2020 who cried that it was stolen. I mean, it sounds exactly like them, so I hope you didn't criticize them in 2020 because you sound just like them. Ron says the Democrats are in full panic mode. Finn says it's complicated, but ICE is just a ridiculous bunch of murderers. Just because a couple of them did some terrible things doesn't mean that the millions of agents are murderers, so I disagree there. Let's see here. I like making memes of someone who isn't here to defend himself. It's kind of a poor use of time. The only people who cried and tried a coup was Trump. Yeah, and I'm against that. Never said I was in support of that. Just responding to somebody in the chat that sounded exactly like the Trump supporters did in 2020 when they cried that it was stolen. The scapegoat says, "Why are you reading the comments? You must be used to Trump's constituents. Very low IQ bunch." Don't know what you're getting at there. Typically, if you are a content creator doing a live stream, it's pretty typical to read the comments, especially in a debate style video. 3 likes away from 100, by the way, and 3 subs away from 11,210. Durf Pred says, "You still support him?" On some things, yes, and on some things, no. Don't support him 100%, that's for sure. And I'm not against him 100%. I feel like if you're 100% in politics, you're a little brainwashed. You gotta be able to find common ground in everything. Ron Goat says, "When the mainstream media is 98% left, you're never getting anything remotely close to truth." Remember in 2016, the poll numbers the day before the election was 98 or 97 to 3. No, 94 to 6 with Hillary winning, and she ended up losing. That's why I don't really trust poll numbers. What do you disagree with? Disagree with this whole Iran situation right now? I feel like what we did last July in Iran with the bunker, I think that was a net positive, but we should have left it at there. I mean, we can't keep saying that Iran has nuclear weapons. We've been saying that for 30 years, and it gets us involved in more conflicts in the Middle East that'll last a lifetime, you know? It's not good for anybody. World Pro says, "Left and right are wings on the same bird." Not wrong. Got people talking about Drewski. Let's see here. 2 likes away from 100, by the way. Attacking Iran is bonkers, in my opinion. Agreed. Attacking them this year, yeah. World Pro says, "I had hope for Trump, but it seems like a small country of 9 million runs everything." Real. John Pork says, "The world would collapse if either side won. This useless fight is the only thing that keeps this country moving." It's very dividing, that's for sure. Next liker is the 100th, by the way. Sup Scott says, "This guy again. Regardless of what you think of me, hope you're having a good Friday night. And I'm happy you're here." What's up, Ice Quackers? Attacking civil infrastructure as well? Yeah, that's wild. Let's go, 100 likes. Let's raise the goal to 103, maybe? Still 3 subs away from our goal. Scott says, "Melania threw Trump under the bus." I feel like she was just defending herself. Didn't really say anything about Trump. Ron says, "During Trump's first term, they said Trump was a Russian asset. They spent millions of dollars and years and found out that Hillary and Obama created the false narrative. It was all manufactured." Yeah, that was crazy. Hard to debate when you ignore me when it gets comfortable for you. Make sure you're not tapping in caps because I can't see those comments. You're just reading comments and responding. I did a debate earlier where somebody called in, but the viewers weren't able to hear them, so I got to change some settings, and it should be fixed by the next stream. A scapegoat, or he just changed his mind. Still 1 like away from 100. Went down. Next liker is the 100th. Durf says, I'm not debating. Not sure what that means. Appreciate the 100th liker. 101 now. Let's go. Trump bought him a really slick couch. Yeah, that was a crazy conspiracy theory. Trump's crazy ballroom is going to include a significant amount of steel from Luxembourg. Whatever happened to America first? I'm just happy the taxpayers aren't paying for it. I'm happy he's paying for it out of his own pocket. How can Trump be trusted when we've seen the company he kept? I don't know what that means. He's worth about $7 billion. Fair, it's not currently a debate. Yeah, that's true. Just a little bit of technical difficulties earlier. The scapegoat says your like system is deceptive. How's that? Maybe it's delayed on my side. Who knows? Do I believe in evolution? I mean, not too knowledgeably based in that, but I mean, it's kind of an in-depth question. There's evolution in everything. I don't know if you're talking about humans or the Overton window. Who knows? Scott says you'll believe anything he says. Not at all. The company like people. Let's see here. The thing about Trump is he knows way too many people. And bound to have some bad apples, but they seem to stick around him. Finn, can you give me examples on why you think that he is? You base your religion on creation. I mean, I believe that God sent his only son to turn people to the religion that I happen to believe in, which is Christianity, and I think that he died for our sins. I'm never gonna out somebody or not talk to somebody just because they have different religious beliefs. That's incredibly petty, but Durf Raid says Biden did nothing. Nothing is better than a negative. I mean, he's kept a lot of his promises. I mean, the thing that most people voted for him for was the border, and that they thought it'd take 4 years, but it took 2 weeks to get it under control. It didn't need a bill. So I wouldn't say that's a negative. Amber says, Hey, I was here yesterday and you're the calm, cool, collective guy. I guess that's me. Appreciate it. That's like the same when people unfriended you or stopped talking to you over politics. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so petty. Like, humans were literally built to have differing opinions. Some people can't accept that. Pocket says, I think Trump's management of the economy gets a D. This last month it's been a D, but 2025 was pretty solid. Sir Mortal Goat says, he kept nothing. He has not helped the border issue at all. I mean, brother, under Biden, there was about 15 million people over the 4 years, and under Trump, we've gotten 3 in the month of July. So we're averaging like 3 a month compared to hundreds of thousands. I mean, I think that's doing a pretty good job. But just because you hate him doesn't mean you gotta discount the things that he's done. It's not petty these things matter. Yeah, but it shouldn't be the one thing on everybody's minds. Like when you meet someone, I mean, should not make or break lifelong relationships. It's very easy to keep politics to themselves. Dan says Trump's economy is bad because of Biden. Trump is trying to fix it. He's a businessman and knows how to fix it. He's been saying this for 30 years. It's funny how when Biden was presidency and the economy wasn't great, his entire administration blamed it on Trump's presidency. But now that Trump's president, they're blaming it all on him. Shouldn't it be consistent morally? So realistically, in their logic, wouldn't it be Biden's mess? It's trickle down economics, I guess. Gboard says liberals didn't mind when Obama was using ICE. Why do you all mind when Trump does it? And he did it at a bigger scale than Trump. It's not discounted. He did not fix the issue on border to keep MAGA mad, making it an issue worse under your nose. I mean, he had no power to do so. He wasn't the president when Biden was in office, so he had no legislative power to do that. But perhaps some social media posts made people mad. Who knows? He doesn't have an opinion on both sides. This is clearly right leaning. Well, I mean, like I said a couple times, I'm just right of center, but I'll never subscribe to a political party. Try and find commonality in every comment, and I also tell you what I believe. I've got to stay true to myself as well. Let's check the Dow right now. How much is it crashing again? You mean since the start of March? I mean, it's been a month. Can't really dictate 4 years of a presidency over 1 month, especially when there's 3 years left. Carlos says, can't defend Republican policy without people thinking I'm defending Trump for real. Very true. Alina says Trump is doing great. Please clarify. Durf Panda says you are MAGA. I mean, if you want to classify everybody who has a slight disagreement with you as MAGA, then go ahead. Just don't be surprised when something bad happens to them because of these buzzwords, often called far worse. Scapegoat, I thought that was a good thing for the left. I don't know why they use it as an insult when they claim it's a good thing. Carlos says, Democrats think that every Republican worships the ground that Trump walks on, and that's simply not true. True. Durf Panda, Durf Parade, definitely not MAGA. I mean, once again, you did say earlier on that politics is like. Let me read it. Let me read it. It says, I love dumb people. And he said, I hate people. Let's see what else he got. It's not petty, these things matter. So you clearly shut people out who have different opinions than you. I'm surely not surprised that you're using buzzwords to call them things that they clearly aren't. Durf Parade, I was reading your comments. You said, I love dumb people. No, I hate people that are terrible. That's verbatim. Sir Mortal Goat says, you are MAGA, dude. You support the unsupportable. And look it up. He made your immigration pathways worse by making issue worse during his current president run. You can't blame Biden. Trump did this. Trump kept the border open. I don't think Trump was president when Biden was, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I don't know. You're calling a closed border unsupportable. That's pretty far left, in my opinion. Rebuke oil reserve stuff. Soralt of Rivia. I mean, the same party that was against the whole Venezuela thing are now saying that we don't have enough oil reserves, and they were against us taking Venezuela's oil reserves. So it's kind of like pick a struggle, you know. Durf, you called me something that I'm not, and I connected that with the fact that you said that you hate people that you disagree with, or you hate terrible people. And I mean, just connecting the dots on your ideology, you know. I mean, I'm pretty certain that some of the comments, if this was in a public format, I'm pretty sure some bad things would have happened based on some of the comments I've gotten, especially earlier on in the stream. Dark Soldier said, some good things, some bad things. Fully agree. Rivia, we took Venezuela's oil reserves, and the Democrats started crying about it, saying how it's a terrible thing to do, and then here you are crying about the fact that we don't have any oil reserves. So it makes perfect sense. If the worst you can say against a president is he says bad stuff online you disagree with, then he's a pretty good president. Ron Goat says Democrats are like vultures, waiting for bad news. Simon, I've said many times that there need to be legal immigration reform in this country to make it easier. I've said that many times. I'm not against immigration at all. I'm against illegal immigration. I don't know if you feel the same way. Rivia says, people I know can't afford groceries anymore and can't find jobs. I myself wouldn't have gotten a job if I had not connections. The oil reserve thing is a direct result of this war. We are quite literally taking some of Iran's oil reserves, number one. Number two, I remember when Biden was president, people were riding horses around town because they couldn't pay for gas. So, I mean, this... Durf Phrase says, you see MAGA... To say you are not seems incredibly disingenuous. To try to say that me calling you MAGA is a threat or violence or something is insane. I never said that. I've had people in the stream who have personally attacked me earlier. Never said you did. You've been Durf Bandit, Durf Parade. You've been very civil. But I mean, if you disagree with what I'm saying and call me MAGA, even though I've said plenty of times that I'm not, then you do you. But Kevin says Trump is the worst president ever. Elaborate. It's a very MAGA show so far. You should have seen the debate I had with somebody earlier that called in. Literally agreed with everything, and they seem to be left-leaning, so. Just because I don't agree with absolutely everything that you believe in doesn't mean that I'm MAGA. I mean, the dots don't connect at all. It's just classic buzzwords. Gas prices are through the roof. Inflation's up. Grocery prices are up. Job growth is awful. The market's tanked. Trump is a disaster. Yeah, maybe in March. Maybe if the Fed would lower rates, we could probably lower some prices. Thank God we're getting a new one, I guess. But Samuel says Trump is doing a great job. Please elaborate. Jimothy says the highest gas in the country right now is over $5, but the lowest is under $3. Remember when Biden was president? It was like $6.50. This is state-based and governor-controlled, not Trump's fault. What's up, Charizard? Durf Parade says, I'm independent. Same here. Apparently I'm MAGA to some people. Howdy says, all these companies sell overseas and make us compete. I'm happy that Trump made it illegal for massive corporations to buy single-family homes, and that only raises renting rates and lowers the amount of houses people can buy. The average age of getting your first house now is 40, and that's insane. Never got to 650. $6.20, my bad. Still less than what it is now, or still more than what it is now. I support whoever supports the country, serves God, but I'm not sure if there are any Democrats like that anymore, says Jimothy. Long live CGR. The thing is people complain that Trump is like mentally incapable to serve, but then called Biden sharp as a tack for 4 years. So I don't really take that, you know. Fetterman came to his senses. At least I like Fetterman. I'd vote for him in a heartbeat. Alan Navo says, as a lifelong resident of California, West Coast Democrats have screwed us. It's more so just liberal there. Woke, I guess. Fetterman is the worst. He sees the good in both sides, so that's why I like him. Two likes away from 110, by the way. Scapegoat says Trump is the Antichrist. True, his dad's middle name is Christ in maths. That seems kind of a wild thing to say. It's like saying, because my last name is Maxwell, I have connections with Epstein. Liberal isn't the word. Anti-American is more like it. Got you with the like, buddy, says Jimothy. Appreciate it, bro. Socialistic ideas are destructive. Forcing charity isn't charity. I tend to agree. see here. Hope I'm back. Vet for Democracy says Donald Trump is a traitor. Please elaborate. Dear Fred, I more so believe that people that advocate for an open border are anti-American. It's just my opinion, though. I respect yours. Jimothy says, guys, let's not let Republicans steal another election again, so make voter ID mandatory. Agreed. Long live CGR says, all liberals had to do was not be crazy in order to beat Trump, and they were incapable of. I don't know who runs on like an open border and forgetting biology, but it just wasn't really the move for them, it seems. He sold out America for his own personal gain? You mean like the finger painting that Hunter Biden sold for a couple million? Breaking news, billionaire with 5 billionaire kids makes $500 million during his presidency. Breaking news. What do you mean replacement theory? Just because I don't want people coming into this country unvetted, unchecked, doesn't mean I'm for the replacement theory or believe in it. Nobody's advocating for open borders? Brother. Have you gone to No King's protests and interviewed people? Because I have. Samuel says, open border ruins economy. True. Please, Hunter was never president. Yeah, but his dad was the supposed big guy in the emails. Trump has made $3 billion in the last year. That's not surprising. I mean, he's got 5 kids. I mean, his youngest son has a net worth of like $150 million. So, I mean, and they still run the Trump organization, which probably takes in a lot of money yearly. Something, Nathan? Vet for democracy says lies. Please elaborate. Not everything that you disagree with is a lie. Off of selling out America. You mean how people on the left were mad at him for taking the Saudi plane, and then they cry that we're spending tax dollars on terrible things, on like crazy things, when we got it for free. No tax dollars spent by the American people, and they still cried about it. Trump crime family has made over $7 billion since taking office. That's just false. Let's search up Trump net worth, because it was at about $7 billion when he became president. So he's at 6.5, so he's lost money. So you do you. Can continue. You're an absolute tool. There we go with the buzzwords again and name calling when you disagree with someone. I would never call you that. But it's happened a lot today, and it's always from people on the other side. And then we all get surprised when, if I were to do this in a public setting and something bad were to happen, we'd all get surprised if something happened, you know? Please explain how ICE helped anyone. I mean, deported illegal immigrants who crossed the border illegally. I mean, it helps the American people, yeah. How much to build Air Force One? Costs about 5.3 to 5.6 billion. So the revamp for what you said, 1 billion, I'd take that over spending 5 point something billion of tax dollars. I told you he was MAGA cosplaying as independent. No, I'm just calling out things that are simply incorrect. I mean, some people in here said that the 2020 election was stolen, and I told them that it wasn't. Does that make me MAGA? Am I still MAGA to you? Of course it wasn't stolen. Samuel says, I think Democrats believe in kindness to take care of everything but ignore responsibilities. Vet for Democracy says, no, it wasn't. Brother, Google search. To build a Boeing 747-8 aircraft for Air Force One has risen to over 5.3 billion to 5.6 billion. Once again with the name calling. Don't care? Of course you don't, because you disagree with me. So in your head, you're right about everything. There's no changing. We don't need a new Air Force One. If you had like a nice car, let's say a Mustang, brand new Mustang, and someone walks up to you and says, hey, I've got one a little bit newer, and I'll give it to you for free. Are you just going to deny that because you already have one? Where's the logic there? Long live CGR says most MAGA loons are turning on him. True. Using AI overview as your source. Brother, I've had people saying that my sources don't matter when they're from the FBI and the White House. All .gov. I mean... So should I be using Legacy Media as my source then? Sinister Mark says smartest MAGA, not MAGA, once again. Just someone who believes in common sense. Yes, if I have to spend $1 billion to make it the way I need it. Brother, I mean, on paper you're saving a couple $1 billion, and current Air Force One, let's see. Current Air Force One is 35 to 36 years old, and it's expected to need replacements in 2027. I say it's a solid time to get a new one. All MAGA sources are lies, like the WhiteHouse.gov, FBI.gov, anything.gov is a lie. Let me guess. Where do you get your media? Where do you get your news? All MAGA sources are lies? That's crazy. Everything Joe Biden said was a lie. That's how you sound. Not if you don't need a new one. Brother, 2 years we will. 1 year and we will. Smug, arrogant, and thinks he knows everything but knows nothing. Not smug, not arrogant at all. Just responding to comments. Had plenty of people in here with personal attacks today, including talking about my family. So I'm definitely not the person you think I am. Been very respectful. Just not respectful to people that call me names that I have no idea who they are. You say everything Trump says is a lie? Okay. Echo chamber alert. Holy cow. Kevin says, I would never bring anybody's family into political conversation. It makes no sense unless it's Trump's crime family. Well, I appreciate that you wouldn't be talking about my family, but I mean, typically the family of the president is fair game for a political conversation. So I would agree with you. Hope you're having a good afternoon regardless, Kevin. Good night, I should say. Trump definitely did not inflate illegal immigration numbers. I mean, the official number was what, 15 million, but that's just the people that were verified, like counted. I mean, it's got to be more than that. Surely not all of them were counted. I mean, no society can sustain 15 million people crossing the border with a country of 350 million. That's a big margin. Borders are there for a reason. Vet for democracy, he's a pathological liar. Maybe you just don't agree with the stuff that he says. Luffy says, Jesus cares for you. Appreciate it. You too. Regardless of what you think about me, Vet for democracy, I hope you're having a good day regardless, and I'm happy you're here. Jimothy, that's pretty true. Jerry says, so you're in support of Trump? If he does something that I agree with, yes. If he does something I disagree with, then no. I'll never be never subscribe to a political party or a politician. Someone said, turn off Newsmax and open your eyes to the real world. Let me guess, CNN? MSNBC? I mean, can go all day. Bobby said, I'm very interested in hearing liberals cry online. I mean, I went to a No Kings protest 2 weeks ago, and I got to see a lot of it in person. They were got there about a couple hours early, and there was a couple buses filled with people that were bussed in with factory-made signs, but why did illegal immigration go up under Trump if he's stopping them? You mean 3 people a month under Trump now? In July of last year, 3 people crossed the southern border, whereas with Joe Biden, it would have been a couple 100,000. Jerry says, I'm curious about your thoughts on the war. Very against it. Well, I mean, let's see. Someone was dogging me for mentioning Biden. I mean, the question was literally, why have more people crossed under Trump than Biden? So of course I'm going to bring up Biden. What is your point? Do you like Israel? I like the United States of America. Go in depth, Sir Mortal. Let's see. Illegal border encounters dropped by approximately 90 to 96% under the second Trump administration compared to the peak monthly averages of Biden. Let me guess, that's fake. That's lies, just because you disagree with it. Thoughts on automated draft registration? Against it. Everything's going to happen in 2 weeks with this clown. Talking about me? I feel like I've been pretty nice. No one cares. Human rights don't stop at the border. Well, I mean, committed a crime crossing it. I mean, if you think that America can sustain 15 million people coming in unchecked, then that's on you. Do you like Star Wars? I do. Kevin, you mean like the people that think men can give birth? Is that who you're talking to? Because it doesn't really seem to be the right that thinks that. Appreciate it, Samuel. The economy right now is terrible. Since March, it's been terrible. Ron says it's very easy to see the people that suffer from TDS here. Philo says, I have a feeling this is going to be the most toxic live ever. No, if you're civil in your chats, then not at all. But, I mean, I've had countless people come in here attacking me personally and my family members who are not here to defend themselves, so. I appreciate that comment, Vet. It's good to, that's good to know. And thank you for your service, by the way. Economy has been terrible since Trump took office. Just since March. It's pretty solid in 25. We'll start with politics for a minute. Do you play games? And if you do, name one. Maybe Fortnite, but it's been a while since I've played games. But I liked that one for a while. Yeah, deplorable. Well, he only really just used the tariffs to scare countries into paying their fair share. Because the United States we were tired of being the piggy bank for the world and the police for the world. He scared countries with tariffs and said that if you don't pay your fair share, we're going to be throwing these tariffs your way. It's funny how a lot of people in the chat are saying that Trump's economy is terrible, but when Biden was president, they blamed his economy on Trump through trickle-down economics. But now that Trump's president, apparently none of it's Biden's fault. It's kind of funny. Kevin, yeah, in California. Definitely not a MAGA influencer, that's for sure. Pretty centered. The war is a distraction from the files? Probably. Remember when Biden took he took credit for new jobs in the economy when he became president, but that was solely because the lockdowns were raised or lifted. Remember when he took credit for that? Far right? What have I said that's far right besides that borders should exist? I mean, please tell me. Definitely not far right. That's the type of sentences that get people hurt. a scapegoat? Have I had any of those traits? Please tell me, because I mean, I believe in common sense, closed borders, you know. None of your business. Another crazy comment from the left. Tends to typically be violence, but it kind of makes a little bit of sense, to be honest. Kevin, I am being myself. Definitely not a MAGA. I don't support Trump 100%, and I don't hate him 100%. That makes me in the middle. Who do you support? If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to. No really politicians. Just whoever is gonna, you know, keep America's best interests at heart. And I was happy that Trump stopped us from getting ripped off by these countries that have been taking advantage of us financially on trade for the past 10 years. Long live CGR says, if you criticize anyone on the left, you're far right. You pointing out Biden issues means you're a MAGA loon to most Dems. It's crazy. It is crazy. Kevin, I guess you're far left if you believe every leftist talking point. And I clearly don't believe every right talking point, so definitely not a rightoid. There were so many like marches, rightfully so, for the people killed by ICE, but none for the people who were killed by illegal immigrants, and there were a lot more then. There should have been marches for both of them. Both are terrible. What ICE did to those two people were terrible. Kevin, just because you disagree with me politically doesn't mean that I'm far right. You know, it's just that's crazy logic, crazy jump to conclusion. Imagine the disconnect it takes to say if you aren't radicalized, you're wishy-washy. Crazy comment. For real. Trump supporters always show they've been properly propagandized, wearing all their fear front and center. What do you mean by that? What do you mean fear? Let's see. U.S. population. Around 350 million, 345. Let's see. 345 divided by 15. Alright, so approximately, can't be right. Holy cow, that's right. Under Biden, there were 15 million illegal immigrants that came into the country through the open border. U.S. population is 350 million. If we do some basic math, 345 divided by 15, approximately a little under a quarter of the country were illegal immigrants. And I mean, you say it's fear as if it's like 1 in a million. It's a quarter. One in 23. Trump pardoned everybody associated with January 6th. I mean, yeah, Biden pardoned his entire family 5 minutes before he left the presidency. What's your point? I don't agree with January 6th at all, and I don't think that a lot of them should have been pardoned. Jerry said, do you think all illegal immigrants are bad? Not at all, no. Not even a fraction of them. But a crime's a crime, you know? Agreed, Aaron. Agree, Samuel. Correct, Ron. Made a lot of money. Pocket Marmo, do we need to show you the cabinet leaders under Biden? I mean, the Secretary of Health, are we serious right now? You're doing the Trump talking out of both sides of your mouth. Just because you disagree with what I say doesn't make that true. Sorry. Money over morals? What do you mean morals? You mean, like keeping the border open? Is that moral to you? Because it's not to me. I said 1 in 23, yeah. Yeah, I said 1 in 23. It's pretty simple math. In terms of quarter, I was talking about how many people came in under Trump compared to Biden. But in terms of under Biden, 1 out of 23 people were statistically illegal immigrants. Montana nature, this guy gets no tail. Yeah, you do you, buddy. I'm the one sitting here making money. So you're off, kid. Christine, I'm 21 years of age, so not a kid, but appreciate the comment. Yeah, it's 1 in 23. If I'm talking to somebody that I can clearly tell has a deep hatred towards Trump, I can already know the conversation is going to be disingenuous and compromised, says Carlos. It'll probably be dangerous, too. I mean, we've seen what happened to some conservative content creators. Good thing I'm not conservative. If I was, who knows? Aaron, you're there. Been here for about 3.5 hours so far. Started with a number on the screen that people could call in and debate. Had one, but unfortunately the audience could not hear that person. It was a great debate. And let's see. Been going for about 3.5 hours, just about. Total of 6,000 viewers. Pretty decent. Although the one I did 2 weeks ago got 40,000 viewers. But regardless of your opinions in the chat, I'm very thankful to be able to talk to you civilly, because, you know, in some countries you can't do that, and very lucky to have the First Amendment. If I disagreed with you, doesn't mean that I think of you as any less of a person, regardless of what you think of me or my family, as has been made clear. But I should stream tomorrow, and the number should work to where you guys can hear the people that are calling in. We ending with 116 likes, 11,209 subscribers. Pretty solid stream, pretty fun. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Later.